Oguk, alias General Oguk, currently aspiring chairman, Meru University of Science and Technology.
Yes, already.
Okay, hello everyone and good afternoon. My name is Chepto Diana, aspiring to be the school vice chairperson under General Hannington Oguk. Thank you.
We start again. Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to Must Buzz News. Kindly hit the subscription button, hit the notifications to receive anything from Meru University of Science and Technology, and apologies for starting late. So today we are hosting our presidential aspirant for the incoming SAMU elections. We have General Oguk and her vice chair. I'll give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. Kindly, General.
Okay, thank you. Hi viewers. My name is Hannington Oguk, alias General Oguk, aspiring chairman, Meru University of Science and Technology. Welcome.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. I'm Chepto Diana, aspiring to be the school vice chairperson. Thank you.
Okay, welcome to the show, our presidential aspirant for the SAMU elections 2021-2022. And first of all, we'll start by let us know more about yourself. Tell us about yourself. Who are you? What are you doing in Meru University? Which course are you pursuing? Kindly, General.
Okay, thank you. As I said earlier, I'm Hannington Oguk, alias General Oguk, to most students in Meru University. I'm a third-year student pursuing Bachelor in Computer Security and Forensic. I'm a politician and also a leader by call. Yes.
Thank you. Diana, please.
Well, I'm Chepto Diana, a 3.1 student of education. I take mathematics and business studies option, and I'm also an aspirant. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Diana and Oguk. And I'll head on to my first question. Kindly share with us what inspired you, what made you to have the urge of being a SAMU leader in this institution. Oguk, kindly.
Okay, actually, my journey to leadership didn't just begin a few days when the election in Meru University began. But it is something that has been in my mind, it has been in my heart since my childhood up to now. Throughout my primary education, throughout my high school education, when I go to Meru University first year, second year, and right now my third year. My urge to be in leadership is, at times I feel that students, more so the comrades, don't get good representation. And for that, I felt, and comrades felt, that Oguk, this is the time you need to lead us. And who am I to decline? Here I am, aspiring for the seat, and I hope students will decide.
Okay, thank you. Diana, as a lady, most ladies don't have that confidence to take up positions in the society, but have stood up and you have taken this position and you have shown the capability. Kindly tell us what urged you, what inspired you to take this position.
Yes, thank you so much. For my case, I know that leadership is not a bouquet of flower, neither it is a cup of tea on a table.
Okay.
But it calls for more dedications and sacrifices, and I felt that I should work for these comrades. Okay, I was saying it calls for necessary dedication and sacrifices, right? And so we should identify the antidote of our problems that the comrades are facing, and we should work for them rightly.
Thank you so much for that. And I'll head on to your manifesto. I'm so sure you have drafted what you intend to do for the students. Kindly just share with us what you want to do for the students, what you have drafted, your plans, and the duration your plans will take. Thank you, Guk.
Okay, if you are going for the battle, there must be a reason. For you to have the need to represent student, you must have a reason. We walking up and down requesting for votes, we have must a reason why we need the seat and what we want to do. To begin with, we have different sectors and departments within our university. There is academic department, there is sports department and entertainment, we have the social welfare. So just taking a brief on them, if you begin from the academic department, right now you'll find that we have insufficient lecture seats within our institution. There is an increase in population. Last year or years before, we had less than 6,000 students within the institution. Right now, we have over 9,000 students, but the resources are still the same. Lecture seats. Besides that, the increase in population leads to hardship in access into the internet because the resources like the access points for internet, they are still constant. And students upon voting in Team Oguk, the Comrades Alliance, I shall ensure the internet access, the access point, all students are able to access. Besides that, still under academics, most students are complaining about the pass list. We are in a science and technology institution, and that is a question that lingers deep into our minds, that why is it being, the pass list, why are they on the notice board? Can't we have the pass list in our student portals, whereby after an exam from home, we can access them? Yes. That is just under academics.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe Diana, you can share with us any other manifesto you guys have for the students.
Okay, thank you so much. For my case, we shall champion the clubs and societies that we shall ensure that they are working, and we shall ensure that they have the financial support for them to work well. And again, we shall champion the delayed transcripts and their necessary holidays, scarce resources all over within the institutions.
Thank you so much. I'll go to the next question. All of you have dealt with academic matters. I want to know, what do you have for the social welfare of the students? That at the end of the day, we are here for academics, yes, but social welfare is one of the most important things for the students. Their security, their health, their food, and anything to do with their social welfare. Kindly, Oguk.
Actually, as we know, all of us came here for academic purposes.
Okay.
But beside academics, life has to move on. And that's where we have to direct ourselves to social welfare. I, as Oguk, together with my team, we shall ensure the social welfare of the students are up to par. First, within our school, if you look at our student center, right now we have some problems. First, the student center is not enough. It can't carry the large number that we currently have. You go there by around 1 p.m., you will be served, but the question is, where are the seats? During my tenure, I'll ensure the student center is expanded, and even before expanding the shades, already we have trees that provide shades there. If I shall be voted in the coming election, that is 2 days from now, before we come back to school by next year, January, we shall ensure students have seats under those shades, so that me as a Oguk or someone doesn't go there and be served, then you sit on the ground. Okay. Second, our student center needs some renovation. Besides that, we have the cafeteria. But still the transaction is still a manual one. I don't understand why Mama Mboga outside there, I go buy vegetable at 10 bob and doing the transaction through M-Pesa. But in my school, where it is a science and technology, I have to look for someone to pay me cash, to pay the cash at the cafeteria.
Thank you so much. Diana, I want you to talk about the health. What do you have for the health of the students?
Okay, thank you so much. As you know, our health center, in our health center, we have insufficiency of medicine. You find that when someone is sick, when someone gets there, one is told to go and buy some medicine, of which that should not be the case. So with our leadership, we shall ensure that the medicine are available.
Okay, thank you so much for that. On to my next question is the problem-solving technique. We have witnessed that in the school, when something happens, so many damages are experienced. So what do you have, in case of any problem, what are you going to use to solve those problems? Your problem-solving techniques.
Okay, one amongst the problem-solving techniques include dialogue. That is always the first step that any person should take when there is a problem. During my government, in case there will be a problem, of course currently students have problem, and that's why I'm here to represent them. We, as the Comrades Alliance, we are here to represent them. In case there will be a problem, first we will have to identify what is the problem, what is the cause, and all this can only be done through a dialogue. Then we shall call upon the administration to look into it. Of course, we shall take the feedback back to the student, and we shall have a solution at the end of the day.
Okay, thank you so much. Diana, you are a woman who has taken this task, and as a lady, most ladies don't take up space. You have taken up space and you're ready to fight. So what do you have for the ladies of Meru University? Meru University has over 3,000 ladies. What have you put in place for them? Any initiatives you're putting in place for them? Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. For my case, in this position, I'll always champion the rights of all the ladies within the university. And for my case, I will ensure that at some point, maybe just once in academic year, we shall be calling an open forum for all the ladies, so that we shall be identifying the problems that they are facing, and we shall work together with all the executives to ensure that the Congress interests are adhered to.
Thank you so much for that. Then in Meru University, you are experiencing something called tribalism. And as you all know, tribalism affects the society. What do you have to comment about the tribalism being experienced in the school?
Actually, it has been a case that leads at us having bad leadership. First, we have to realize the problem during election. One is the tribalism. When I got to Meru University, I found when the delegation system was already there, a system that used not to be there earlier. During this campaign, that is one of the things we are trying to fight, telling students this is the right time to elect a leader by looking at the trends, by looking at how a leader is able to fight for our rights. The issue of tribalism, I'm sure for the first time in Meru University, students have decided, and they are going for the best leaders. I personally am always against the ethnic and tribal balkanization, and during my tenure, I'll serve comrades equally, without favor or without looking at anyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. In your manifesto, you have shared with us your manifesto, and I want to know, obviously the manifesto is supposed to last an academic year. In the first month of the academic year, what do you intend to do for the students? What are the priorities you have put in place to start with in the first month of your tenure?
My first month, when I shall be elected as the school president, first come, first serve. The first one is about the lecture seats. I think that is something that the administration can look into it during this December holiday, such that when we will be back in January, we shall have enough seats, enough lecture seats. In January, that shall be when it will be the first month of our work. Right now, we have religious group in our school, and as if you look around, there is one group that is planning to have a mini Harambee for them to raise funds so that they can purchase chairs and also the public address. That is the Catholic group. I am assuring comrades that upon getting there, we know there is money in SAMU, because we do pay 500 every academic year. 500 with over 6,000 students, that's a lot of money. During my tenure, I shall ensure that I set aside 50,000 per religious group. We have around 4 or 5 religious groups. We shall ensure I set aside 50,000 for those who in Christian Union, 50,000 for those in YSA, that is the Catholics, 50,000 for the... We also have Muslim brothers and sisters. All these religious groups, we shall look into them such that before they begin that mini Harambee, already there is something on the table and they just need a top-up.
Thank you so much, Oguk. I want you to tell me, how do you feel about the feeling of the leadership of SAMU? Start with Diana, kindly. How do you feel about the leadership of SAMU for the past years and for the future?
Okay, thank you so much. For my case, I feel that we still have much to do in this leadership. We need to work for the comrades and not to flatten our belly. So for our case, we shall work for the comrades. That's beginning with us, if given a chance. Thank you.
Welcome, General.
Okay, my experience in the past SAMU, I can say that students always play their part. Delegates play their part. But now the executive, at times, they tend to forget those who helped them climb the ladder. In previous elections, we as comrades, we've always played our part in voting in the best delegates. But after voting in the best delegates, the kind of executive we get, just because of the delegation system. You see, there might be a student somewhere who feel, Oguk is my right man to be the chairperson. But before getting Oguk as the right chairperson, he or she has to pass through a delegate to vote in. Lakini hapo ndio unapata kwamba things don't go well. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Still on the delegate part, there is a motion in Parliament about the delegate and the one man, one vote. What do you feel about that? Some people are opting to remove the delegate theory and to go back to the one man, one vote. What do you feel about that? What is your take about that?
Actually, that is a bill that was is being championed for by the great comrade that is Babu Owino, and I really appreciate that. I can say that the motion of the one man, one vote should come back. The delegation system is really infringing our rights. It is really infringing our freedom. And if I were at a position to change it, I would have changed it even at the moment. But that one should not deter us from getting good leaders. Students still have time. They can still decide. They can see the kind of executive they want, and they can follow the routes of the delegates.
Okay, thank you so much. Diana?
Yes, for my case, when you talk about delegate system, meaning your delegates needs to be voted in first so that they can vote you in. I was thinking that this one man, one vote is a good one. It is a nice one, since at times you have competent executives who should take up that position and work for the comrades. But you find that they don't just get that chance to work for the comrades, since it is a delegate system. Yes.
Thank you so much.
It is a challenge.
Thank you so much for that. We are having we collected the student data, and School of Health Sciences is the most affected school in this school. What do you have for the people of School of Health Sciences?
From the Department of Health Sciences, currently we have delegates who are in that school. Yes? They complain about the laboratories, and some of the students said there is a more of theory work than the practical side. But you see, these are people who are going to deal with the lives of humans. Yeah? And that's why during my time, we shall ensure the students from the School of Health Sciences, they be subjected into practical so that they get the skills. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that. On to my last question before I welcome the next moderator of the session. You see, we have never experienced uncertainties in this country. Last year we experienced the uncertainty of Corona, and we saw how Corona changed everything. Corona changed system. Corona changed everything, including in our own school. And the first thing that came in was the online writing, which came with so many opposition from the students, so many opposes. And I want to know, in your leadership, how are you going to take your students? How are you going to raise your students? Are you going to prepare them for uncertainties, or are you just going to be the ones who oppose the changes that comes with the uncertainties?
Okay. Something like Corona,
Yes.
it was a universal.
Yeah.
And it never affected only student, but it caused problem to everyone worldwide. During my time, you talked about the online writing and the challenges.
Yeah.
I think during COVID-19, online jobs were the most marketing. And during my time, because right now you will find that most of the people who are doing online writing are students. I personally have linked to these people having very huge accounts. During my time, we shall ensure students are connected to these people so that as you read, you earn.
Okay.
Thank you.
Pardon, I guess you didn't get my question well. I was asking, when uncertainties come, the school has to change many things. It has to make the students do online studies. It has to make the students read from home. So yes, last year when it came with opposition. People did not want to take the online classes. People did not want to take the LMS. So as a student leader, how are you going to ensure that your students are flexible, that in case anything pops up, they're able to suit for the situation?
Okay.
Yes.
I think I got the part online, not
Okay.
online studies.
Okay, thank you.
When we talk of online studies and the students are rejecting it,
Yes.
we need to identify why. Why do they feel that like they should not go for that? First, remember during that moment, were they given the data? That's a question to ask ourselves first. If not, and that is the source of the problem.
Okay.
But still they can be talked to. Yes? And at the end of the day, you see, students are also human beings. They understand. Once you engage them in dialogue and you tell them this and this and this are the problem, they can understand. I think maybe my vice chair may have something to add.
Okay, thank you so much. You know, the world is changing, right?
Yes.
And everything in the near future will be online. So these people should get used to the same. And if the problem is all about the resources, the scarcity, the insufficiency of resources, like data, we shall provide the same so that they can catch up.
Thank you. And so lastly, any future plans? Are you doing this for Meru University, or do you have any other plans, other great plans to continue with? Oguk.
Yes. Okay, you see, right now we are in like a political arena.
Yes.
This is not the end. And I think this will be just a beginning of Oguk being in leadership. It had started. This is a next step. I still have an ambition to lead the great county, to lead even the great country of Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Diana.
Okay, thank you so much. For my case, leadership is something that is inbuilt to me because I just find myself that I just feel at times that I should work for people. It's something that is just inbuilt. So I feel like in this position, it will actually help me to gain more skills in this leadership thing.
Okay. I think that's so good. It was so good interacting with you guys. I'll welcome the next host. The next host is going to ask about what the students are asking out there. They want to know what they want to know from you guys. It was so good. Thank you guys. Continue subscribing to our YouTube channel, Most Buzz News. Thank you.
Hello, General. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Yes.
Hello, Madam Dan.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming in. So, guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing fine. It's a nice afternoon. I was on the other side of the comment section. Thank you so much for tuning in. Continue subscribing, continue commenting, continue throwing on those questions, and we'll get back to you. Our viewers are watching, and these are some of the questions that they were asking. First, to start with, my name is Immaculate Mokami, and thank you so much for making time to be with us today. We appreciate you. Now, one of the questions is, as we have observed in the last student leadership, I know you have followed closely, we have followed closely. What are you willing to do differently? Oguki, we may start with you.
The first thing to do differently from the previous government, SAMU, is working for students. We are here to rejuvenate the spirit of comradeship, the lost glory. Right now, you will find most students, they don't want to go to vote. Why? They feel like even after voting, they won't be considered. From some of the previous government, you hear that the work of a delegate is just to elect executive, then it signs here. No. During my time, these are leaders, and they are the people who went down to look for votes. You have to consider them, and you have to consider the whole lot of students. You have to be there for them. The approach between the executive and the student and the comrades, it has to be there. The lost glory is soon being rejuvenated through the government of Oguk.
Nice. Madam Diana?
Thank you so much. For my case, I think teamwork is the best. Working with the students is something that needs to be worked on. You know, identifying the problems of the students and the solutions is something good. And for our case, with our leadership with Oguk, we shall ensure that we work as a teamwork with all the executives to ensure that the comrades' interests are adhered to. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you have, General, you have talked about something called comradeship. I have seen it in your posters, I have seen it in a lot of places, even in your campaigns. Could you expound more on comradeship?
When we talked about comradeship, this means the togetherness of comrades. My concern as an executive be the concern of the students, of the comrades, and the concern of the comrades be a concern to the executive. For an example, many times you've heard of students having problems outside school. They call upon the student leaders, and you hear, we are not around. Not even I'm not around, we are not around. And you students feel like, okay, they just did that election, it went like that, and no one is there to fight for them. We have the problem of examination, the fee balance. At times we have negligible fee balance that if you are a student leader, you can go and have a dialogue with the admin. Dialogue. You tell them, this is what is happening. This is the number of students who are going to miss the exam. Could you please allow this student to do so that when the help loan come, these students shall be able to pay. By then we shall have rejuvenated the spirit of comradeship. Yes.
Actually, that hits to my next question. What will you do for those students who are not able to raise school fees and it's almost close to the exam period?
My team, together with Diana, during this government, I think it will be the onset of such welfare. We shall have a welfare kitty where, you know, right now, there are people who are willing to help students. We are going to have a kitty whereby students themselves will be able to feel like, okay, the help is here. I feel like giving out like 50 bob. You see, students get at least as 16,000 during when help come. And at times, some feel like I can even give out my 50 bob or my 100 bob to help a student. Lakini hii pesa watu juu inaenda wapi? Yes? During my tenure, we shall ensure students have a channel, even if it's a till number where can channel. And also, we also have well-wishers. Recently, we've seen politicians coming around, giving out something. But because we don't have the right channel, where that money can help the student. We shall have a place where such funds can be directed to, and they will be able to help the students. Thank you.
Anything to say, Madam Diana?
Okay, thank you so much. I think through donations from the well-wishers, outside there are people who are willing to help those people who are not able to raise their school fees. So I think we will reunite with those people. We will ensure that we have that connection with those people and help our brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now, on to my next question is, this is a very personal question. Not really personal, but what will you do when you're first elected, when you're elected? What is the first thing you'll do when you're elected in office?
I think I had answered that question, but still I'll reiterate. Election is Friday, 2 days from now. Then election for the executive will be next week. To mean our job will begin from December going onwards. The first I said is about lecture seats. So many students we don't have seats. More so in the TB, in the tuition blocks. You come to class, you find there's no seat. You have to walk up to the MPH for you to look for a seat. That is number one. Number two is about the student center. Still, we have no benches there. But this is a big institution where there is an increase in population. The resources are still the same. And maybe the third one, which I'll ensure I do them within my first semester of work, is, right now if you get into multipurpose hall, we have sockets there. Someone carries his or a PC, you get there, but the sockets are not functioning. And also the internet access. Students from computer, students from sparse, different school, they go there. Some of them have even the Ethernet cables. We need Ethernet ports inside the multipurpose hall, and even around any tuition block. Yes, I think those are just the ones that we shall begin with, including the allocation fund for the religious group. Yes.
Yes, Madam Diana.
Thank you so much. For my case, I'll ensure the first thing that I'll do is to ensure that we call for an open forum with all the students. The problems that the students from education are facing might be different from the problems that those students from health sciences are facing. So for my case, I shall ensure that there is an open forum for the students in School of Education so that we can identify the problems that they are facing and work on it accordingly.
Thank you very much. Now there is a very sensitive topic about finances. How you are going to be allocated. Okay, according to the budget, most students may have a slight idea of how much they are going to be spending in their groups. Let's say, for example, like the Mr. and Miss Meru University, they have the amount that they know that is allocated to them. But ikifika hile wakati, you find that some of the people are not paid, some terms are not met. What are you willing to do about this?
Yes, I think I've witnessed that when I was outside the government, and I really felt for them. During my government, first, I said I'm a freedom fighter. And even if you can confirm from any of those who have been into you've talked about the Mr. and Miss Moose, the MCs of the school, I've always tried to fight for their rights. During my government, I'll ensure what is meant for a certain group is meant for them. And as we say, as we give God what belongs to God, and we give Caesar what belongs to Caesar, during Oguk's time, we shall give comrades what belongs to comrades.
Yes, madam.
Thank you so much. For my case, I'll ensure that these students are really helped. Okay, for instance, we shall ensure that they do not have that problem of finance, because we will support them where necessary.
how are you going to ensure? Because right now we may be talking, and how I want us to talk about how.
Okay.
The how.
Okay.
Yes.
The how question.
Yeah.
The how question first reflect from the what has been allocated.
Yes.
You see, I will be a chairman for all the students. Then we have the departments. We have the Mr. Moose. Mm-hmm. I talked about dialogue. Call Mr. Campus. Have a talk with him or her. Akuambie shida zenye wanapitia hapo. Mm-hmm. Then from that you can know through this and this and this allocation. You know, allocation is just a whole, mm-hmm. but it has to get in maybe the salaries of those of the models, maybe the kind of the artists they want on that day.
The drama crew.
Yes, the drama crew, the PAFA, mm-hmm. even those who participate in the sunset poetry. Yeah. All this group, they have to be called upon, and they will help to come up with ideas. Na utapata hiyo pesa vile nitengenezwa ilikuwa allocated, mm-hmm. it shall be directed directly. Na hapo ndio hatutakuwa na shida. Mm-hmm. Someone taking maybe allocation was around 200,000, mm-hmm. you give out 150, mm-hmm. the other 50 is to fatten your belly. No, not in this government.
Thank you very much. Thank you for expounding on that topic. As we are winding up, I would like you to give me a brief comment on what your alliance is built on, the principles in which your alliance is built on.
Thank you so much for your question. Mm-hmm. We are under TCA, mm-hmm. and that's the Comrades Alliance. Mm-hmm. Okay, for my case, I chose TCA because it is the only coalition that bears the comrades' interest at heart. And with this, we believe in teamwork policy. We believe in debates, open discussions, and recommendations. Thank you.
Okay, General.
Yes, actually, the Comrades Alliance comprises of all kind of students within Meru University. The macro comrades, the micro comrades, the generals, the strategists, all of them are under the Comrades Alliance. And in my team, we shall ensure that everything, all the students are catered for. The Comrades Alliance, as you hear the name, I am the flag bearer, yes, and she is my vice. This team comprises of all kinds of students. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, could you comment a little on competency, inclusivity, just those two as we are winding up?
Okay, when you talk about competency, mm-hmm. in leadership, competency is defined as what someone can do, referring from what someone has done. Yes? Mm-hmm. So when you talk about competency, if you look at the structure of my leadership, that is from the top, Huntington Oguk, going down, including the delegates, you will find that those leaders are really, really ready to work with students. Yes.
Thank you very much for giving our students confidence in you, and also our groups. Kuna vile we were a bit shaken by some of the things you were saying, plus what we thought. But thank you so much for coming. As you're winding up, I would like you to look at the camera and tell students to subscribe, watch you on Most Buzz News.
Okay, before I tell the students to subscribe, kindly students vote me in. Vote my delegates, the Comrades Alliance. This afternoon we are going to have a mega rally. That is the last rally. Kindly ensure you come so that you can hear the manifesto. We are full of agenda. No propaganda, no looking for sympathy vote. We mean what we want to do for the student. And this is the right team. Subscribe to the channel, as she has said, and as I reiterate, kindly subscribe, like, tuma message, sema thank you, na Mungu akubariki.
Thank you very much. Yes, madam.
Thank you so much. Maybe before I do the same, mm-hmm. I'd like to persuade you people to work in one accord with the TCA, that's the Comrades Alliance, because, okay, thank you, because the purpose creates an impact, and we say TCM Bele. So for now, kindly watch us, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, guys, for being with us. Thank you so much, our presidential aspirant and the deputy, for being with us. Right now, we are going now to welcome the political analysts in Meru University. So, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Yeah. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now kumbuka journalist kwa hii. Students pursuing journalist.
Yes, very thank you very much. You're welcome. Karibu sana. Have a seat. Now, thank you so much. I thank you for you making time to be here. So if you could just give us a brief introduction and who you are in Meru University.
Okay, let me also take this time to thank you for hosting us. And we believe that this is a very good platform to ensure that students express themselves, plus the leaders.
Yes.
I'm called Trevor Wasonga Onyango. I'm a student in Meru University. Actually very interested in politics. And I do majorly things to do with the strategy and analysis of the political process. Yeah, like today in the morning, I was dealing with a lot of, I was interacting with a lot of cases concerning the political sides. So that's basically what I love, and that I follow so much in this politics. Yeah, I'm a student pursuing bachelor in procurement. Yeah.
Thank you very much for being here. On to my first question. What do you feel about the leadership of Meru University right now? The aspirants, the delegates, all of them.
Well, you see, when you ask me what I feel about the leadership right now, I would first answer you that as at this time, we still don't have a student leadership.
Yeah, the aspirants,
but now,
mostly the
when you ask about the aspirants, that question is now very clear.
Yeah.
I will say that I feel very delighted actually this political session, because it's one that is very unique, one of its kind actually. The things that are transpiring really shows you that students are actively involved in things that concern them. Unlike in the past, you used to find some people being pushed, although we are witnessing that still in this season. But a number of student leaders have come out, and students are actively involved. Yeah, so I'm feeling like Meru University is actually graduating from that initial kind of political setup to a mature one. And I would encourage comrades to keep testing them before choosing, in order to ensure that we correct some of the messes we have seen in the student leadership in the past. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Now, could you give me a brief comment if you may narrow down to a presidential aspirant, General Oguk?
What I can say about General Oguk? Well, I've known General Oguk for a long time, and on matter student leadership, I've seen him do a lot of things, actually even without being in office. That is why he's known everywhere, and they are in the past you could find students mistaking him for a president in the past regimes. Some of them even mistaking him for holding a certain position in some, which was not the case.
Yeah.
That means he's somebody who is pushed by the interest of fighting for students. And you will find in many occasions when things are a mess, he will always come out regardless of, like you see, there's that leadership without position. Yeah, you use your influence to ensure that other people get what is right. That is what General Oguk is, and that is what I've always known about him. Right now, when he came out to vie as the student chairman, the SAMU chairman, personally I feel very delighted, and I'm just praying and asking his students to give him backup with this entire team. Yeah, they are called TCA. It will be sure that he will continue doing whatever he was doing while not in office, and even do more while he's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, you are a political analyst. You have watched, you have observed what has been going on, matters concerning politics in Meru University. What would you say that we have been doing wrong as students what have we not been observing in our leaders that we vote them in, then they come disappoint us in their regime? What would you say we have been doing wrong?
That's a very nice question. And I believe the students watching will get to learn from this comment. Like I told you in the past leadership, student leadership, there have been a lot of problems. And the problems are normally repeating themselves because we have not been awake enough to correct them. This time around, whatever I've observed, like I told you, students are very active this time around. And we have seen cases of people trying to fight for what is right. Yeah, in the process, you find that there are some people wamegongana hapa na pale. But all these, they are normal in a political environment, and more so during the campaigns. And one problem that I want students to take care of is the issue of tribal politics. Yeah, we should shun that because it has always given us very poor leadership, and we should run away from people who are telling us to vote because we are their tribe mates or that. Yeah, that's one mistake that has always misled students, and I believe this time around they are going to look at somebody's personality and give support based on what that person can deliver while in office. Another thing I've observed also, I would want to comment that we should let this political process be one that is fair, and we minimize things to do with violence and all that. Because we have observed some people, but some of them are stage managed, but they are stage managing them to implicate other students. And you see, if you stage manage a violence thing, and then you tag a student to it, it can lead to some repercussions that are not good. Yeah, so I will say that it is important that we know the difference between somebody who is doing something for self-interest and somebody who is driven by serving comrades. Yeah, and then I would like, I must comment because I will comment generally both sides. For me, I will be fair enough to say what is wrong and what I feel is right.
Please do.
Yeah, we have seen we have the other coalition called United Most. There are certain cases I've interacted with, like I told you in the course of the day. Some people stage managing some bad actions and violence somewhere, then they be the first to post it in the social media, tagging some people as violent, and even going around telling people that they have been beaten, when in real sense, if you investigate the case, it is not true. That is misleading and a way of seeking for sympathy votes. And I would like students to be very attentive and actively involved in ensuring that they shun such acts and make sober decisions. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I want you to narrow down to these two. You have talked a little about the United Most Alliance. Now compare and contrast both of them.
When I'm comparing and contrasting, basically I will comment on based on how I've seen them present themselves, and that shows actually what interest they have. So to begin with, let me start with the Comrades Alliance. I would say that these are individuals who, even by the first impression, you just meet them, interact with them. Like General Luguk has just left this place. You've heard is basically talking about things you would want to do for students. And if you look at the manifesto, they are divided into departments. That means is a leader who has sat down, analyzed student problems, and categorized them into the smaller partitions that will help him solve the various problems. When you go to the academic sector, he knows what is affecting students there. He has incorporated in the manifesto. You go to health, catering and accommodation, there are students being affected both within the university and outside. They are partitioned that way. So that gives me confidence. And even when we interact with them throughout the campaign period, I've always seen them just sharing manifesto, being very peaceful and asking people to soberly select the leaders. Yeah, that's one thing that has made me very happy about them, and I will comment openly that it's a good move. That is showing me actually that politics is maturing up based on that approach. Yeah, on the other side, when I talk about United Most, to be fair enough, I will say that because I've interacted with a few of them, not all actually, but I can say they are also tabling what actually they believe in. Yeah, there's a time I was hearing an aspirant from that coalition saying that things to do with supplementaries should be removed. And you see, those are things that in themselves, if you interact with them, there is a way in which they feel that is not the supplementaries should be removed. Yeah, but to comment in that regard, personally, I would think of a leader who encourages students to work hard and excel, other than removing something that will purge them to keep working hard. Yeah, another thing I've also noticed, I've commented on the way we conduct ourselves. We should not be selling tribes and say that there's a group of people made of Luos, a group of people made of maybe Kikuyus or Kalenjin or that. We should be very fair and sell manifesto, and generally everything will go well. Yeah, that's the level of comparison that maybe I can give. And you see, when you are comparing, you should give an opinion at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so having compared in that regard, I will say that it is very wise that students base their arguments and selections of these leaders based on what they present and what they believe is very right. That even to you, you will see this one is right and this one is wrong. Yeah, so my opinion will be that students, you have seen the manifesto, the way people present themselves. Please be very wise. Do not be bought. Actually, you have seen even voter bribery. You have seen people being bought, given money, and they walk around saying that they have been paid and that is why they are doing certain acts. Yeah. We should shun that and we embrace mature politics just like we have started. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. As we are winding up, I would like you to give your opinion or some small advice to the next leaders in SAMU that are going to be elected by Friday.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them? Because in their failures and shortcomings, some of them may not be because that we elected student leaders who are not fit. When they applied for these seats, they knew they were going to do this work. What advice would you give them so that they may not waver or move away from their roles of being student leaders?
Yeah, that is very critical because you see there are some students who are actually leaders, but when they get there, people start complaining that this person changed, started behaving this way, that he was not that way before. So what I would advise the aspirants, the candidates, once we form the government, the next government, stand for what you are at the moment. Yeah, there are certain things that you find mtu akienda huko mbele, kuna venye unafinywa, you are being barred from doing what brought you there. See, student leadership should basically serve students. The administration is just a body that governs the entire institution. But what students deserve, it should be negotiated for the officers, and they change, they turn out not to be whom we knew they are. Yeah, I would advise people to just continue the way they are, stand strong, even when in an office, and not to fear. Yeah.
Thank you very much for being with us. I would like to, as we are winding up, as I have done with the others, look at that camera, tell our students just some small brief statement kuhusu our leaders, then tell the students to subscribe to our channel, Most Business.
I will start by talking about our leaders, like you have said, and I cannot hide myself. It is very good to stand strong and profess what you believe in. I believe in TCA because they have showcased the leadership that I would really admire. And I advise students to stand with TCA, vote the candidates, delegates, you know them, across the 8 schools. Yeah, and then by that we shall have formed the competent government we are seeing we would want to have at the executive. Yeah, TCA is very strong. Let us keep pressing, and Friday is the day to confirm our stand. Yeah, so as I finish also, I would advise students to subscribe to most media and be very active, always comment there, and make it a platform where you can always share your views and interact on matters affecting you in leadership, administration, academics, and every other thing. Otherwise, thank you.
There is a question that has just come in from the students. They are asking that give a brief advice to students who are not, there are students who are saying that, why vote? Why should I go vote? What is the point? Besides, they will just be voted in. Just give them a small advice that they should go vote. It's their right to vote.
The advice I will give, there is one person who once said that it is about time that we stop being passive on matters that concern us, that really affect us directly. Things to do with student leadership, people being harassed outside there by landlords, insufficient resources within the school, they are things we can always solve through student leadership. So I would advise them to exercise their voting rights, come out in good numbers, and vote leaders as we have advised them to choose the right people for whom we have shown very well, and everything will move smoothly. In the next regime, they will have a sure reason to come out and vote even without being reminded. Yeah, so let us begin now to correct the problems we are facing through casting our votes correctly at the ballot. Yeah.
Thank you very much for being with us, and we will see you next time for after the elections.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. As you have heard from our general book, from our political analyst, that we are having a very promising elections and very promising leaders. I hope that you will all turn up for the Friday. Go vote. It's your right. You should go vote so that you can see the change that you want. These leaders are for you. You should go vote so that you may have a very smooth time in Meru University. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. And my name is Immaculate Mukami. Continue commenting, subscribing. All the questions there, you may ask them all offline, but we will give them in our next video. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Have a nice time and make sure to vote. Bye.